Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to Let's Play Dark Souls Remastered. I've been wanting to do... This is one of the games that I've been wanting to LP since I've been wanting to LP. Well, Dark Souls in general, but we are going to be playing on the Remastered. Okay, all of this I don't understand why it's making me do. So here we have our character creation screen, where we can name our character, pick our class, our race, all that stuff. Class pretty much has no meaning in Dark Souls. You can start as a warrior, and then you can become a sorcerer later on, basically. There is no respecking in the original Dark Souls, so once you've, put a point in a stat, you're stuck with it. I already know what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing a strength faith hybrid because that's one of my favorite things to play. So I am going to start as a cleric. Gift, this is an item we can start the game with. The tiny being's ring gives us a little bit of HP. The old witch's ring is to allow us to talk to an NPC later on. The pendant is useless. The binoculars, I don't know why you would start with those. Twin humanities, that's for a mechanic. That's for a mechanic in the game. Black fire bombs deal damage. And Goddess's blessing fully restores HP. All of these items are available through normal progression. I'm gonna pick the master key because it is the best starting. If you pick a thief as your starting class, they start with the master key. So just as a FYI, if you want to pick you want the master key, but you want, say, black fire bombs, pick a thief. We're going to pick cleric. We're going to be average. You're going to go with a store noble. You just need hair, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to build a character because I just don't care. There, that's our character. Yeah, the master key, obviously, name suggests, it lets you open up pretty much. It lets you open up a lot of doors, and you can skip a lot of, not necessarily skip, you can skip 2 bosses with the master key that are normally required. If it's a first playthrough, a lot of people recommend not to take the master key. I say go right ahead. Like, that's the joy of Dark Souls is, hey, this is the required path, you're supposed to go this way, but what happens if I go this way instead? But anyway, we're gonna get started.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bolts peeled apart their stone skins. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. And Seath the Scaleless betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more. Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers. And man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark side.
Okay, so that cutscene, the intro cutscene, pretty much sets up a lot of Dark Souls' what I would say is kind of a convoluted story.
Yes, indeed.
Hey, thank you.
The dark sign brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north.
So,
Where they are locked
damn you,
away
lady.
to await the end of the world.
So I say the story is convoluted.
This is your
You're getting on my nerves, lady. I'm trying to talk. So I say the story is convoluted, and I say that in that it's not just given to you. You have to talk to NPCs and read item descriptions and kind of piece bits of it together on your own, and I really, 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 really like that. Same thing for, like, the gameplay in general. There are things the game just doesn't tell you that you can do, or what this is, or things like that, and I legitimately enjoy that. Some people may not, I do. We are locked in a cell, and a kind stranger drops a body for us, and we now have a face only a mother could love. We are undead, and we are currently in a state called being hollow. Camera controls, these are developer messages telling you how to play. R1 for light attacks, R2 for strong. We can dash. I am playing offline for a number of reasons. One, I do not care for the online elements, and I want to be able to stay human and not get invaded by real people, because in my experience, 99.9% of people that invade are twinks, and in my opinion, twinks are like the lowest low of some of the gaming communities, and they deserve to be beaten within a half an inch of their life. But that's just me. But we had blah, 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 blah. We rest at that bonfire. It is now our checkpoint. Resting at a bonfire restores our healing items, which we have not gotten yet. That is the boss that guards the tutorial. We will deal with him in a minute. Resting at a bonfire restores our healing items, which we don't have. It respawns all of the enemies except for special enemies. I do not care. I do not want my shield. I don't need it. Well, I guess I shouldn't say I don't need it. It would come in handy. It'll also, when you rest at a bonfire, if you have, like, arrows, for instance. So we've got our equipment, we have our mace, and we have our shield. Can I still fast roll? Yes. I will get into some of the stuff, roll speeds and stats and equipment, burden, and all that shit in a little bit. But for now, we are just going to go and move on. But as I was saying, there is the kind young man that helped us. If you rest at a bonfire and you have, like, arrows, and you've shot 2 arrows, but you have arrows in your storage, it'll reload. I think it does that in the original Dark Souls. I don't remember. Really, that hit me. But anyway, this is the young man that helped us. Let us talk to him.
Oh, you. You're no hollow. Thank goodness. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I were both undead. Hear me out, will you?
Yes.
Regrettably, I have failed in my mission, but perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family. Thou who art undead art chosen, and thine exodus from the undead asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know. And I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask. An undead favorite. Oh, and this. Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now, and thank you.
Alright, so that, though he is not named at all in-game, that is Oscar of Astora. And he is now dead. He gives us the key to the asylum. Well, to this door right here, actually, I think. He gives us an Estus flask, and he asks us to basically take on his pilgrimage of traveling to the land of the lords, which is what we are going to do. Canvas Talisman. So that is... Talismans are used to cast miracles. There are 3 classes of magic in Dark Souls. There's miracles, which we have one here. We have heal. There's sorceries. And there are pyromancies. Pyromancies are... Miracles are usually support. There's healing. They have healing and stuff like that. There are damaging miracles, like lightning arrow, lightning bolt, or... like, what the hell is it called? I don't remember. But you see Gwen using it in the intro cutscene where they're throwing bolts of lightning at the dragons. But miracles are mostly kind of support. Sorceries have, obviously, dealing damage. We traverse the fog gate, and we have that big boy down there. We can do a plunging attack. To do a plunging attack, you walk off the side of something, and you hit your attack button. And now we can fight this big, thick boy. You can oh, I ran out of stamina. I was not managing my stamina. You can totally kill him on the first, when you first walk in here. You don't have a weapon, but you can still totally do it. It's 100% possible. And if you do, you will actually get that big hammer that he's using. The, Demon Great Hammer. He'll drop it. Or if you start with the black fire bombs, it takes, like, I think 2 or 3 of them to kill him. But we have killed the Asylum Demon. We can now leave the Asylum. But there are a couple of little things that we can do. As in, there's like 2 items we can get. I'm going to try to go over a lot of stuff as far as the mechanics. Even the lore of the game, even though I'm not that... I kind of know it enough. Soul of a Lost Undead. If we use that, does it still automatically equip items? No, it doesn't. If we use the Soul of a Lost Undead, it will give us souls, which I don't know if you noticed in the bottom right corner. There's a little counter that says 2,000. That is our soul counter. Souls are used to level up and to purchase equipment. And enemies drop souls when you kill them, and when you die, I'll get into that in a second, we are going to get cutscene.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords.
So one of the mechanics for... Damn it. So yes, we are going to the land of the lords, Lordran. And we will take on Oscar's quest. So one of the mechanics for Dark Souls is that when you die, all of your souls, and you lose all of your souls, and any humanity that you have stored. I'll get into humanity here in a little bit anyway. You know what? We'll get into that conversation once I actually have... I do have some humanity, I think, on me that I can use, but we'll get into that in a little bit. In Lordran, level up and kindle at bonfires. So, that is a thing that we can do. And that is what we are going to do. I don't like the inventory in the first Dark Souls. It's annoying. So, we will use our Soul of a Lost Undead. That gives us 200 souls. Actually, there should be more floating around. Let's talk to this... Excuse me, let's talk to this boy, and we'll explore around, and then we'll end the episode.
Well, what do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess. Fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first. But there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the undead asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are, actually, 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the undead church. The other is far, far below, in the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happens. Brilliant, right? Not much to go on, but I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead? Ah, your face. You're practically hollow. But who knew? Going hollow could solve quite a bit. What? Restoring your humanity? Well, there are a few ways to go about it. Collect it bit by bit from corpses. Or you can butter up a cleric and get yourself summoned. And the quickest way, although I never do it, is to kill a healthy undead and pillage its humanity. Coveting thy neighbor is only human, after all. What are you looking at? Don't try anything clever. You might regret it. What? You want to hear more? Oh, that's all we need. Another inquisitive soul. Well, listen carefully then. One of the bells is up above in the undead church, but the lift is broken. You'll have to climb the stairs up the ruins and access the undead burg through the waterway. The other bell is back down below the undead burg, within the plague-infested Blight Town. But I'd die again before I step foot in that cesspool. Bloody hell, what is it now? You ask too many questions.
Alright, so one of the things you really want to do is exhaust all of the NPC dialogue. That is the Crestfallen Warrior, and he's kind of an ass, but he tells you basically what you need to do. He says there are 2 bells of awakening. One is up above in a church, and one is down below in Blight Town. He's basically telling you what you have to do, so we have to go ring those 2 bells. He also tells you about restoring your humanity, which there are a number of ways to do it. I think I have some. Okay, so we have humanity here. I'm going to use 2. And you can see the counter up by our health has gone up. Humanity does a number of things when you use it. It heals you to full, and it also slightly increases your resistance up to 99 humanity, which is the amount you can hold. It increases it up to 99 humanity, but I can't remember the exact number you get for your resistances. It also increases your item discovery rate up to 10 humanity. Now that we have humanity, one of the things we can do, and ultimately this is going to be a waste on my part because I'm probably going to die here in a little bit, you can sit at a bonfire, and you, actually I'm not even going to, but you can, no, sit back down. Why did I get up? You can reverse hollowing. Oops, I bumped the table, and I apologize. We are now human. And as a human, we can kindle bonfires, which kindling costs 1 humanity. And it will allow us to carry more Estus flasks. Every time you kindle a bonfire, it increases the amount of Estus you can carry by 5. This one, as you noticed, already gave us 10. That is because this bonfire has a firekeeper. If a bonfire has a firekeeper, no response, she cannot speak. That bonfire automatically is already kindled to 10. You can kindle up to a maximum amount of, let's see, it would be, what, 4 times? 3 or 4 times? You can have 20 Estus, but you cannot kindle past 10 until you get a certain item. So we are going to continue to explore around Firelink really quick, and then we will end the episode once we have finished exploring. This man here,
Hello
we will
there.
talk to.
I believe we are not acquainted. I am Petrus of Firelink. Have you business with us? If not, I'd prefer to keep a distance, if possible.
No, I'm going to keep bugging you.
Hello there. I realize that I have requested that we retain our distance, but I also want you to know that it is not meant in ill will. Here, take this as a token of peace. No, go ahead. It's for you.
You think you can buy me off like that?
You again? Oh, I know. How about this? I have to await my companions here anyway. So what if I were to teach you some miracles? Would that please you?
It would, actually.
Very well. Then first, a covenant with the gods.
Already belong to this covenant.
Now let me share my miracles. Only their ultimate effectiveness will be determined by your efforts and your faith.
Shrug. So we already belong to this covenant. I will get
My
into that in just a
companions
second.
are Milady and her young knights. She is young, but burdened by an undead mission. We are her defenses, to keep her from harm. An undead mission? Regrettably, I cannot share that with you. But you are my pupil. Perhaps if you show your faith.
Sure.
Very well. I can surely tell you, of all people, undead clerics.
Atris is a scumbag.
Kindling. Kindling is the art of feeding bonfires with humanity. Through kindling, we shall one day be granted magnificent powers. Very well. Undead.
So okay. Yeah, Patris is a scumbag. I'm gonna go ahead and say that now. But he sells miracles. They're expensive, but he sells them. We can get Force, we can get Great Heal Excerpt, and we can get Homeward. He also allows us to join a covenant called the Way of the White. You can see here on our status screen, our covenant is the Way of the White. Covenants are factions you can join in the game. Most of them are online related, PvP, and even PvE. The Way of the White, what it does, to my remembrance and knowledge, is if you are a member of the Way of the White, you have an increased chance of being able to co-op with other Way of the White members. Other than that, I honestly don't know what the Way of the White does. I already know what covenant I am going to join. Since I am doing a Strength Faith build, I will be joining the Warriors of the Sunlight so that I can get Sunlight Spear. So we have these chests down here. One of the things we picked up was a Morning Star, and is it better than my mace? No, it's not, but it has a bleed aux effect. So, I guess there's a lot to talk about, and I don't want to do it all in one big sitting. So we're going to just explore around Firelink a little bit. We're going to grab a few more items and hopefully not die. And I will try to get into some of those other mechanics at a later point. I don't really want to be down here, although there are items I want, because skeletons will fuck you in the ass and it hurts. The first thought you're going to have is you're going to go to that graveyard and you're going to be like, this is the way I have to go. It's full of skeletons. They're traditional, easy peasy RPG enemies. No. Those skeletons will just destroy you. That is not... You can go down that way if you want. Absolutely can. People do soul level runs of this game all the time. And in fact, I'm going to take an early trip down that path. But I'm not doing it right this second. But I am going to try to get into the mechanics and all of that other stuff. I just don't want to do it all at once, because it can be kind of daunting if you've never played a game like this before. But before we end the episode, I am going to level up and mention, I was talking about Patris. He's from a land called Thorland, and Thorland is known for he talks about the rite of kindling, which I talked about. We can kindle bonfires with humanity. They are also known for, I think I picked up an item that talks about it. Let me see. Talisman utilized by All-Father Lloyd's Cleric Knights to hunt down the undead. Blocks Estus recover within a limited area. I can't remember, because All-Father... I'm pretty sure the people of Thorland worship All-Father Lloyd. One of the things they added in Remastered is being able to change covenants at a bonfire. We'll get into that later, but before we do anything, I'm going to level up, because I'm going to ultimately need 32 strength. Right now, I want... We'll go ahead and bring it up to 15. I'm going to need 32. And then I'm also going to focus on my faith. That is going to be my primary damage scaling stat for later. But anyway, I'm going to shut up, and we are going to end the episode there. That's not what I wanted. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I know I did, and I look forward to seeing you next time through this journey through one of my all-time favorite video games. Till then, take it easy and have a good one. Later, y'all.